Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I've got another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on, a better explain what's going on, and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. So this is another video out of Wisconsin. The Wisconsin DOJ has released footage and information on a case. A lot of it's redacted, but there is some video footage with this. This particular document is actually from the district attorney for that county where the incident occurred, which is Dane County. Basically, this is a statement where they're saying that there is no criminal liability for the Wisconsin State Patrol trooper and an Iowa County Sheriff's deputy that were involved in a vehicle pursuit and crash fatality incident on March 2nd of 2025. On March 2nd, after 6 p.m., Iowa County Dispatch received a 911 call indicating a vehicle was traveling northbound on Highway 151, going approximately 140 miles per hour, traveling through the median to pass other vehicles on the road and almost causing accidents. Additional 911 calls came in with similar information, and dispatch sent the information to deputies regarding the vehicle in question. They located them, initiated pursuit. They were communicating on getting spike strips set up, and as the suspect vehicle approached mile marker 65, it moved left to avoid a vehicle in the right lane just before veering back across both lanes of traffic in front of the vehicle in the right lane and continuing off the roadway. After leaving the roadway, the suspect vehicle rolled over numerous times before coming to a stop on its roof. The driver was ejected from the vehicle and came to rest approximately 75 feet past the location of the vehicle. He was pronounced deceased, and the driver was identified as Bo A. Johnson, date of birth 6/17/96. Now, what's interesting is this district attorney, who is an attorney, released the date of birth in this news release. However, the Wisconsin DOJ, they are extremely redactive happy. They redact as much as they can, and they redact dates of birth. This is an invasion of privacy. So it's interesting that a district attorney, who is an attorney, a lawyer, would say it's okay to release this, but the DOJ deems that it is a violation of the law to do so. I think that some of these entities are a little overzealous, a little too overbearing with the redaction process and with how they apply the restrictions and exclusions for open records laws. Some of them, I think, just do that on purpose to be buttholes because they don't like dealing with it, and they hate the public, and they just don't want to deal with open records, and so they just make it as much as a headache as possible, in my opinion. I don't know anything about Wisconsin, but I can tell you that some of that goes on here in the state of Kentucky. Lots of different news articles out there from different news entities dealing with different public agencies. A lot of news agencies have had problems with the Kentucky State Police Records Division. They've been sued on multiple occasions for not releasing records when they're supposed to. Our Attorney General here in Kentucky does opinions on open records violations, and so when a person believes that an agency has violated the open records law, they can complain to the Attorney General's office here in Kentucky, and then they'll make a ruling on it. And when they release these rulings on it's every month that multiple times a month that they'll release this stuff, and there's so many agencies out there that violate open records laws and do not hand over records the way they're supposed to. They don't even respond to people sometimes, and some of this I think it can be a lack of proper education on the part of the custodian of records, but some of it I think is just purposeful bullying, for lack of a better word. So, and I think that's probably what's going on at the state level with Wisconsin, just in my opinion. Anyway, got off on a rant there, but in this case, there was no evidence that law enforcement from either agency pursuing the suspect vehicle ever made any physical contact with the suspect vehicle. The suspect vehicle was driving over 100 miles per hour. He was a single occupant. He lost control, rolled over numerous times, and was ejected. So, not much else for that news release there. Let's go into... We'll look at Bo first. I found his obituary, so let's go look at him, and then we'll look at videos. All right, so this is Bo Austin Johnson, born 96 and died March 2nd of 2025. He was 28. He worked at GoDaddy as a website technician and was an accomplished salesperson. Loved spending time with family and friends and had an unconditional love for his daughter. Liked cars, fishing, cooking, and was a lover of music. Bo was affectionately known as a pretty boy due to his signature style, love for the perfect photo, and undeniable shoe obsession. Okay, interesting. There was a video attached with this. So you can just search his name to go find that obituary and things on him. Don't know much about this guy. Obviously young. Working for a tech company like that, that there had to be some level of, I'd say nerdiness with him to be working on websites and things like that. Well, it says salesperson, so but website technician and salesperson. There had to be some level of intelligence with him, because it's just dealing with technical stuff is not that easy. So he had some smarts about himself, but whatever possessed him to want to run from police like that, I don't know. It's anyone's guess on what goes through some people's heads. I have no idea. All right, so let's skip him and go into some dash cam footage. All right, so this was the Iowa County deputy, I guess, sitting in the median waiting for him to get there. There's nothing wrong with the audio. It's just his camera's in buffer mode at this point. Here in a little bit, you'll see, there you go. There he goes, and now audio's So he started to slow down some, but then did not stop. A little bit in the Wisconsin State Police, and we will see his footage here in a little bit. But the pursuit goes on. They go a pretty good little distance, and let me skip all the pursuit part of it because, I mean, once you've seen a pursuit or two, they're all kind of the same. So. All right. Here is the rest.
That's where we took the.
Well, James got 3 set up at 78.
10-4. He just passes us. We're coming up on 65 exit at 114. We have a left turn signal on. Try and get on somewhere.
James having a good on the right there.
10-4. We took the. Possible 1050, 1050, 1050.
12 here by 1050.
All right, and then that's it. Nothing else on his dash cam footage other than I think maybe you see an ambulance or a fire truck kind of show up later on. But that's it for his dash cam. Let's go to the state police dash cam. All right, so I've went ahead and skipped this one forward some so we can kind of get to the meat and potatoes of this.
Vehicle lost control, 1050 into the right ditch. Multiple rolls.
1050 right ditch, multiple rolls.
Time.
95 right ditch.
There's the mile marker 64.
Passing mile marker 64.
Right lane, approaching exit 65.
120 right lane, approaching 165.
Vehicle lost control, 1050 into the right ditch. Multiple rolls.
120 right lane, approaching 165.
Vehicle lost control, 1050 into the right ditch. Multiple rolls.
1050 right ditch, multiple rolls.
All right, and then not much else from his dash cam. This is the one where I think you see ambulance and fire truck show up. So to see any more, we have to go to their body cam footage. So let's go check that out.
12 here by 1050.
We're stopped near the 65. I believe we're 1050. Start EMS now. 12, one vehicle roll over, start EMS. Neither can I. I think I got it out. Is that... 12, did you copy my last? Affirmative. It's going to be a rollover. Start EMS. 12. It's going to be a single vehicle 1050. It'll be the suspect vehicle. No occupants are moving. If supervisor can just start this way. Time for. Driver, can you hear me? Brian, I'm going to start down there. Dane's here. Driver! Let's hop over the fence. They ain't talking. Over here. 12, can you turn on? 12, we're going to be well off the roadway.
What the fuck was that? Oh, shit.
12, we're going to be well off the roadway.
Leroy Jenkins here. Oh, man.
They dip.
I don't know.
12, possible ejection.
Yeah. We gotta look up the hill here.
There's a chute. Ryan, there's a chute right there. This is the sheriff's office. If you are there, make yourself known. What's that? No clue. But I don't see anyone in the car. What's that? Perfect. 12. Dane's got a drone and a dog. 76. Sounds good. $12 unknown. No clue. They're working a dog now. They're gonna run a track. So stay out of there. I didn't see him run at all. That's why I think he got tossed. Where did he go in at, Brian? Right here? I think he ejected.
Okay, just touch nose down on foot.
I said a possible ejection. I don't see him in the car at all.
So he was ejected. I don't know exactly where he was in relation to the vehicle. But my first initial thought was he's probably under the car. But he wasn't under the car. He was somewhere in that field over there. They've got enough people there that I think it would be feasible to start at the entry point where the vehicle left the roadway into the field. Start from there. Look at the line trajectory to where the vehicle has landed, right? So make a line from entry point into the field to where the vehicle has landed. Put your center man at the entry point, and they're going to be on point and walking towards the vehicle. And then you have a couple officers spaced out on each side to do a hasty line search and go from entry all the way to the vehicle and some little distance past the vehicle. And I think that would be probably a good tactic to do a hasty search of that field to find someone who is most likely going to be injured, likely incapacitated from that type of that wreck. That wreck is going to cause a mechanism of injury that it's not likely that person is going to be able to be doing much. Now, they can still be a threat, but that's a pretty significant wreck. I mean, you could tell just from the footage the way it rolled. Chances are they're not walking from that, and if they are, they're going to be pretty banged up and not able to do a whole lot. So I think they could have formed a better search, so to speak, and cleared this pretty quickly. But they decided to wait out because they said there's getting a dog coming, and then eventually they go back to the vehicle to try and search the vehicle some more. Fire department comes down there and ends up handing them a hydraulic spreader, and they use a hydraulic spreader to pry that door open. They actually have a thermal imager from the fire department too. Also, scene lighting from the fire department, which is kind of nice to be able to light that whole area up.
Yeah, that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. We're done. Yep, I put it in there. I just hit the power button. And then I will give him a hand if you don't mind. Just hold it. It's a quarter turn. Yep. Can you turn the power button on? Got it. No, that's fine. Now it's on.
So this to me is a little silly. I don't know the full reasoning why the firefighter just couldn't come down there and do that himself. If the argument was, well, in case this guy's in here, he's a threat, we need to be able to deal with him. Well, you the police, you now have a large tool in your hand, occupying both hands. If there is a threat in there, guess what? You ain't got your damn gun out. So I think it probably would have been better for the firefighter who knows how to operate that equipment to come down there, use the hydraulic spreader to pop the door, and then officers could be standing there with lethal cover in the event that this guy was in there and was a lethal threat. Because otherwise, these two cops are standing there with both their hands full on this piece of equipment, and who is providing cover for them? Alright, not much else from this body cam. Let's go look at another body cam.
Okay, good. Copy, Alpha 7 and 6.
Your incident has been updated.
See him at all yet?
I don't see anything.
Okay. find my fucking flashlight.
You
Any
okay?
county units, like the mile marker 66, do any of you have a drone with you?
Yeah, do trade, I do.
Copy that.
Down the hill. Upside down.
6510.
6510.
Vehicle's on its roof. There's no occupants inside.
No.
So at this point, let's try to get a perimeter set up. Wait for that dog.
Working dog now, so we're on a track.
Okay. Where's the
Copy that.
vehicle?
Do you want to attack?
Sure, if 13's available.
Copy that. We'll switch to attack 13 and I'll get you a dispatcher.
It would have been back here.
The tire marks are right there.
He lost control coming around the corner. No sign of him in the vehicle.
I think he ejected. Okay, does dispatch know he's out on foot? I said possible ejection. I don't see him in the car at all.
We're on TAC 13 if you guys got it.
Four, 5, 2 on 13.
6527. State Troopers thinks that maybe the person got ejected.
Copy 6527. Is there any county units on 13 that's got a drone, or do you want me to work on getting one that way? 4523 has one. 10-4. Four, 5, 8, 1.
4581.
Can you change my call to an assist citizen and I'll be 10-8?
Copy assist citizen.
On 13. He said he thought he got ejected.
6527, you calling?
Yeah.
Well, if he did, then
Negative.
check these fields here to see if...
445. That road off of 65, it escapes me now. If we could get a unit. County Highway E, I'll head there. 445. Objection.
We're just gonna, we need to not go down there and try to track it.
You want me to try to... I see Oregon's come up with a dog. Yeah, V, when he gets here, we'll have people back off of the track. Yeah, V, when he gets here, we'll have people back off of.
And so another way to do a search is from this elevated position. A person could stand up here at the top, take their taser out, and activate the laser and use that as a way to guide and control the people down there in the field to be able to search. Because you got to think, that field down there has a lot of tall vegetation, and your probability of detection goes down in even an open field like that because that vegetation is so high. So even though they're in an open field, that high vegetation, a person could be laying down and be within 21 feet and you not be able to see them. They can even be a little bit closer, and you still not be able to see them very well or at all. So a person standing on top of the hill could be able to have their laser pointer on their taser activated and could have that taser or that laser point to a certain point out there in the field. And you have your center guy going towards it, and then on each side you got people flanking him, and they just move from here and then move all the way out and then go to a stopping point. And then the person on the hill can take that laser and just shift it right over to, say, here as a new point, wherever the furthest person on the right, let's say okay, so let me back this up. So let's say we're going to start from the vehicle and go this way. You got your point man, or the center man here, and then you got one and then two people, and then to the left, one and two people. So boom, you get all the way to the top. If this right here was the person who was on the furthest side out, well, that's where you would redirect that laser to. That's the new center point. Everyone shifts over. The center man starts at that laser point right there, and then the guy who's up here at the top can just drag that laser down to here. That becomes their focal point. They shift all the way down, or start searching all the way down here, and then again the person who's furthest point out just move the laser over, and that's the new point where everyone shifts over and the center man goes there, and then reset that laser on the other side, and then they just keep going back or searching back, and then shift over, search back. So that could be an effective way, an efficient way to very quickly and hastily search that field and increase your probability of detection. Because right now what's going on is you got a singleton out here just kind of hoofing it around trying to look, and there's obviously someone, maybe this light is coming from him, possibly there might be someone down in there shining their light. So there is no true coordinated effort in this. They all kind of going out in their own little spot doing stuff. So there's a possibility that as two or three of them have gone out in this field and kind of doing their own thing, two people could have went past or near the guy and then never saw him. Whereas if they would have done it in an organized effort, they could have come across him a little bit quicker. And obviously, coming across him quicker in this scenario wasn't going to do anything. The mechanism of injury was so great that he died from it. But at least that would have been able to close the, I wouldn't say close the case, but decrease the urgency or the need for so many resources. And boom, you find him. He's deceased. You've got 15 people on scene. Well, you don't need 15 people there to secure a wreck. You don't need 15 people there to stand with a dead body. You can go ahead and cut 10 people, cut 12 people, keep a couple there, and scene secured, and then everyone else is going out responding to calls. This is where also for rural environments, night vision and thermal capability is a pretty great game changer. Now, with night vision itself, would that totally change what they're able to do and see? It's just going to allow them to see a little bit better in the dark, but you're still going to deal with shadows and things like that, and cars going by, just like what you see with your naked eye. Car going by and the headlights changing, and then all the flashy lights that's casting shadows here and there and bouncing off things. You're still going to get that with the night vision, but you're obviously going to see this field light up a little bit better, but you're still going to have shadows and stuff to deal with, and of course the high vegetation. It could help search it a little bit quicker. Thermal, same thing. Well, actually, not same thing with thermal, but the vegetation is what I mean by same thing for thermal. You're still going to have to deal with the vegetation with thermal, but with thermal, you take out all the light and the shadows, and you're just dealing with the thermal radiation. That can help really quickly scan that environment, especially from that elevated position. Go up there to the elevated position, or even go to one of the cruisers and stand up on the front push bumper, or someone's light enough, they can stand on the hood of the car, elevate themselves even further, and then look down with the thermal imaging camera and look out there and be able to scan it and be able to see if that person's out there or not, or laying down in the vegetation. And of course, drone technology. Drone would obviously make searching this field go by a whole lot quicker. But there's a response time with the drone. Whoever has it has to come from wherever they're coming from, has to get there, has to pull everything out, open up the hard case that it's in, set up the little landing pad, power the device on, insert the battery and deploy the wings or whatever, and then they get the controller out and set the controller up, and it's not very fast, right? It takes some time. And so the time it takes for that person to get there and get all the shit set up, they could have done a hasty search with the personnel they had on scene and probably cleared a couple 100-yard radius pretty effectively by just a few people being out there in the field, and then one person being able to kind of direct them on where they need to shift to and how they come back. This is where engaging in other types of training can be very beneficial for a person working in law enforcement or even security. So this type of search management that I'm talking about comes from search and rescue. And so there's a lot of stuff in the search and rescue discipline or the field that can be very beneficial to law enforcement. For example, man tracking. Man tracking is a course that you can take where you learn how to track a person based off the signs that they leave when they pass through an area, whether it's their footprints that they leave in the ground or things they've knocked over with their feet, the breaking of vegetation, etc. So when you walk through an area, you leave sign, and I forget how much sign a person leaves within a certain distance, but from point A to point B, a person leaves so many hundreds of signs of passage through there. And so you take something as simple as that kind of class just from the search and rescue side, and then you'd be able to apply it to law enforcement. That's a pretty good game changer. And Border Patrol uses man tracking skills to enforce border control. Was it Abe Taylor? I think the guy's name was Abe Taylor. So many years ago, when I went through man tracking school, the class or the curriculum was set up by a guy named of Abe Taylor or something like that. And the person that was teaching it was someone that had trained under him. And the Taylor guy had been a Border Patrol agent for most of his career, or all of his career maybe. And these were skills and knowledge that he utilized in the field, learned out there tracking illegal immigrants, and was able to pass that down into the search and rescue community. And it's really great knowledge to have. The basic search patterns and tactics is something that could be even beneficial to law enforcement for being able to help search for a missing child, right? I think about how many times police go out for missing juvenile and whatnot. Now, sometimes, depending on the age and circumstances, a lot of times this ends up being a runaway kind of scenario. But smaller kids, they do wander off. Going down to your local rescue squad or linking up with emergency management and taking a basic search and rescue course or a search management type of class would be really beneficial to law enforcement, not just for searching for missing people, but also searching for people who are trying not to be found. So the man tracking applies, some of the search tactics apply. Lots of great disciplines that you can learn in one field that can carry on over to the next field. Even stuff like knots, right? So knots are a good thing to know about. Even going into the firefighter stuff. So firefighters have a class on breaching, like how to break into places. That's a pretty good course. Law enforcement officers would greatly benefit from going down to the firehouse and taking one of those classes and learning how to better effectively breach doors, because sometimes you just can't kick certain doors in. You have to have a tool. There's all kinds of different stuff that is not law enforcement centric, but it works in the law enforcement world. So I encourage anyone in the profession of law enforcement to step outside their industry, so to speak, as far as what's offered to them as training, and go take some other training classes. Right, expand your knowledge, make yourself a more rounded person. And this is the one that was operating.
You should be able to pry that open too.
44520.
Yep, just like that. That should be enough just to look. No, wait.
4523. 23, I'll get that drawn up in a bit.
Right there.
4523,
Now that I
copy.
can see it.
All right, that's pretty much it. There's not really much of anything else to do with this video. So, pursuits. Some people hate them, and they want to put an end to them. I do not agree with that. I believe that having pursuit policies enables and empowers the criminals. It makes communities less safe when the criminals know all they have to do is keep stomping on the accelerator, and the police will just go away. We don't need that in our society. Yes, there have been traffic collisions that occur because of pursuits. People have been injured and or killed, but when you look at the overall numbers of those, and you look at the overall numbers of pursuits that do happen, people are running from police, and things don't happen, we see a lot of pursuits occur where nothing bad happens. Of course, it's always tragic when innocent people are injured and or killed. But let's not forget that the reason they have been injured or killed is because of dangerous criminals running from police. Dangerous criminals who wantonly, knowingly drive at a high rate of speed, disregarding traffic control devices and putting other people's lives at risk. Why some members of our society lose sight of that and instead put their sights on the police and blame police, it's beyond me. The only rational thing I can think of is these people are just inherently anti-police anyway, and are pro-criminal and are criminals themselves. So police need to be able to pursue bad guys, and in my opinion, we need to strengthen our laws on criminals who flee from police. If you're going to be running from police in a vehicle and you're traveling high rates of speed, disregarding traffic and control devices, etc., that is extremely dangerous, and that to me is really no different than someone taking a gun and just starting to blindly firing it in different directions within an urban area. Someone's going to possibly get hit by one of those rounds and be seriously physically injured and or killed. No different than when you are barreling down the street in this missile, so to speak, and you're blowing through stop signs, blowing through red lights, swerving in and out from vehicles. You are increase in the odds of seriously physically injuring someone and or killing them. So people like that just need to be locked away for an extremely long amount of time. None of this, you get a plea deal, you only do a certain amount of time. It needs to become a hard stop. It needs to be something, if you got caught running from police, then it's an automatic 5 years flat. Right? Not a freaking day less. And it needs to be something that you can't even plea out of. You can't even plead guilty to other things just to make that charge get dismissed. If it gets charged and there's evidence there to support it, it sticks. It doesn't get to go away. If we do that all across the board, I think that we would see a drastic drop in some pursuits, because it just wouldn't be worth it for some people to run anymore, knowing that there's nothing they can do to get out of doing 5 years flat. All right, that's it. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.